Hey, okay, wow, it's day 22 already of 365 days of daily posting for a year. That's crazy because 22 seems to have gone by pretty fast. Um, Feels like just yesterday that I was on day like 8. So I'm doing these daily videos just because I want to share the messages that are relevant, that come up in conversation with me and my clients, and that come up in my own mind and sometimes in my meditation when I'm receiving messages. So today, though, it's kind of more of a practical message, and it's based off of a personal experience. But I do talk a lot about the nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system, which are two different states that you can be in you can be in only one at a time, but there are two different states that your nervous system can be in. One is called the rest and digest system, which is going to be the parasympathetic. And then the sympathetic system is anything related to fight or flight, fear-based, stress-based, alertness. Even when you're working out, you may not find it stressful emotionally, but your body is perceiving it as sympathetic. So it's putting your body in the fight or flight mode. And it's okay to be in that mode. We're meant to oscillate. Just like, if you watch deer grazing, they'll be grazing and look very peaceful, and they might hear a twig snap and lift their head up really quick, and their ears are alert and their eyes are alert, and they look around and they're in the sympathetic state, but then they go right back to grazing when they realize nothing's happening and they're fine. Then they go back into parasympathetic. So we are meant to oscillate between these two states. It's not wrong to be in the sympathetic state. We need to be in high alert sometimes, like when you're getting things done, making things happen. But the problem is that our culture doesn't really teach us, or I guess more importantly, our culture tends to be in the more alert and kind of beta, like alpha wave state, meaning we're more stressed than we should be, and chronically. And when that happens, when we get into chronic stress, well, that's where disease starts from, really. But it's also some of the signs are, not being able to think straight, not being able to breathe in the diaphragm, but only taking chest breaths. So if I ask you right now to take a deep breath and you're doing this, that means you're probably operating in sympathetic state. Isn't that crazy? Because your chest and your neck muscles will be clenched and having to work really hard. But when you're in parasympathetic, when you're in the rest and digest phase, your diaphragm should be pulling the air. So we want to learn how to breathe with less of our chest and shoulders and neck muscles and breathe more from the belly. And that can be really hard to do when you've been chronically stressed. So it takes time to learn how to breathe through the belly. And one way that I learned was just laying on my back and putting my hand over my belly button and just taking a very small amount of breath through the nose into that spot into that spot in my belly. So I have been operating on higher stress these past, it's probably been a few weeks, but I would say the past like 4 or 5 days has been more extreme. And I realized that, wow, I've just been in chronic stress for enough time to notice these changes now in my body and my sleep rhythms. One way to there's a lot of symptoms, a lot of signs that you're in chronic stress mode, or that you are maybe entering into adrenal fatigue. But one sign could be that you wake up in the middle of the night and it's hard for you to go back to sleep. So you might just wake up kind of feeling alert all of a sudden, because it means your circadian rhythm is off. Your cortisol levels are off, and you're getting hormone boosts at kind of the wrong times of the day for when you should be sleeping, when your body's asking you for sleep. So I wanted to just talk about the importance of knowing that we have two modes of our nervous system has two modes. It's either stress mode or relaxed mode. Stress mode is sympathetic, And then parasympathetic is the relax, rest, and digest. And you can't be in two at the same time. You can only be in one at a time. So we want to train our body to get out of sympathetic. If you find that you are stressed a lot or are running on that mode, how do we get ourselves to be in sympathetic mode? In parasympathetic mode, the restful and digestive mode, where our body can process and digest and relax and enjoy pleasure. And one way to do that is to not only take those calm, conscious breaths into the belly, but also to slow down while we eat. And I think that's a really important one, because our culture really rushes around. Like, think about fast food. I mean, that's all about eating on the go. And think of how huge that industry is, the fast food industry. We have ready to eat meals at grocery stores, those little prepackaged sandwiches or salads or drinks with the straw. It's all about grabbing and go, grab and go, grab and go, grab and go. And that's really telling your body, we don't have time to sit and relax and eat this food. We don't have time. We gotta go. So your body's in sympathetic mode as you're eating. That means that your body's not processing the food. It's not able to digest the food, and it's a really stressful and hard and taxing process on the body when you're in sympathetic mode and also eating your food. That just doesn't really work. So to help yourself, to help your mind, we also can't be creative and think creatively and problem solve when the prefrontal cortex, when it shuts down when we're in that sympathetic state. So your reasoning mind, the part of your brain that's responsible for creative thinking and problem solving is shut off when you're stressed. So we need to get out of that mode when we notice that we're stressed out and running around like a crazy, chicken with the head cut off kind of thing, which is a really disgusting and disturbing image. But anyways, so you sit down and you take time to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Give yourself permission to slow down and enjoy the meal. Make sure that you chew your food slowly, that you stay off of your phone, and you spend time just allowing the body to eat, allow the body to digest, to rest. And in that process of just allowing that time, you're saying to your body, we do have time to be relaxed right now. We are not in danger. We're not being chased by the bear, or we're not fighting for our lives. We have the time to slow down and eat this food, because we want to be like the deer that's able to graze peacefully and have a moment of stress and then return to grazing peacefully. The problem is, a lot of us in this culture do not know how to return to grazing peacefully. We're in the constant alert phase, and it makes sense. All of our marketing, the marketing from all of the companies, I mean, the beauty industry, everything is about, you need to be doing something. You need to change what you're doing. It's not enough. You gotta move. You gotta check on this alert. Look at this notification. It's constant buzzing and like so much is going on. There's just chaos in our world. But we have to stop that process happening within us and not let it penetrate us, and take responsibility for our moments of restfulness and time to digest. And there's so many other things that are related to that mode. Having sex and being able to relax and enjoy sex and orgasm is related to the parasympathetic state. If you're not in the parasympathetic state, then how would you be able to enjoy sex and have an orgasm if you're thinking about what you should be doing, or if just your body feels stressed out? So there's so many reasons why we want to be in parasympathetic and oscillate between those modes, but we have to be more conscious with how we bring in the rest and digest mode into our bodies. One way is to trigger it through breathing. The other way is to do it with very conscious eating times. So I just woke up this morning and thought, okay, I am going to take time with all my meals. I am going to consciously sit and have the meal and chew and relax. And I'm going to retrain and regroup and get back into parasympathetic because I've been stressing out and I need to be able to think straight so I can be my best self. Okay, that's your message. I'll see you around. Bye.